Yo, big up yourselves and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Jack from JRC. Big up. Thanks for coming. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the process of adding sockets onto an existing ring final circuit, which is something I think if you're an apprentice or if you're at college, you need to see and you need to know how to do. Obviously, this is going to give you that little bit of knowledge so that when you're out there on site, you roughly know what you're doing, hopefully. If you are new here, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. We're about 150 off 7K, so it'd be awesome if you could help us get there by pressing that subscribe button. But yeah, let's get straight into it because I am sweating. That's enough waffling. Run the ting. Right, here is where we're going to be adding the sockets. So we've got one going on there for a TV that's going on that wall, and we're going to be taking the feed from that double socket under there. So we've got to get the floor up here, we've got to get the floor up here, and we've also got to get the floor up there. And that last one is for a socket in the room next door, which I'll show you. So there's another one going on here for another TV that's going on there. And as you can see, that room's already decorated. So we've said what we'll do is chop up this wall, drill through, back entry into the socket going on there, just for less damage in the room that's been done. And because we're running straight up that wall, we need it to be in a zone. So what I'm gonna have to do is fit a socket down there. So we've got a socket to go on there, then we'll chop all the way up, keeping in that zone, drill through, back entry into the socket there. Socket there, and it's all coming from there. Right, the first thing we've got to do is get this floor up, and for that we are going to be using the circular saw. So down these tongue and grooves, because of where the boards join, it's sort of like that. So what we're going to do is cut off the tongue that goes down here. We're going to do the same on this side, and then we'll find where the joists are using the nail holes that they've used to fix down, and so we'll cut that way, we'll cut that way, and then we'll cut the tongues off. Now what we're going to do is get the crab iron hammer down into there, lift it there. So what you want to do is find out where the joists are, where the nails are, and try and lift from there just to stop it splitting the board any more than we need to. Now if there's any nails left in this board, you want to knock them out just so you're not kneeling on them or anything. But there's none come up with this, they're all left in the joists. So what I'm going to do is get the hammer, just chuck it under, and then lift all the nails out, just so it's a bit safer where we're working. Now the next thing that I like to do, obviously we know the socket's going there. What we want to do is just draw a straight line straight down the wall, just to give us something to go off when we're chasing it out. And we'll know exactly where we can draw the floor so that it's in the chop. Now that we've done that, we know the chop is going from there straight the way down to the floor, and we know exactly where we can drill through, avoiding the joists so that we can get our cables up and behind the skirting. Now we've got that drilled out, that's where our cables are going to come up. So I'm going to get the chasing tool out now and the extractor ready for us to blast straight up that wall. If you've not seen this before, this is the extractor that we use. It's an M-class hoover, it's just a cheap one to be fair. And then this end is going to plug directly into the chasing tool. So that'll sit in there, suck all the dust out while we're going. And this is a little triple blade. So it grinds it out and sucks all the internals out straight away. Set the depth to what you want, away you go. So that's our chop there. Bit of over conduit straight in that wall. Now we're going to cut the box out. We want to get this lined up with one of the holes that obviously our cables are going to run into. So if we line it up with that one there, get it nice and level with our spirit level, bosh, and then we'll just draw around this box. So this is exactly where the socket will go. Now, what I also like to do, because I use the chaser to chop these out, I'll just continue those lines up a bit and just to the sides a little bit, so that when I'm chasing, I can still see the lines, I know where to stop. Now that that's chopped out, you can still see our lines in the middle. So what I'm going to do is SDS the middle, straighten it off, and just chop that piece out there that our cables are going to come into. I'm going to be using SDS, drill and chisel bit to chop these out. Obviously you can do the whole chase with that. I just find it easier and faster with the chasing tool that I've got. You can use chisel and a hammer if you want. It's up to you. All we've done now, got our 5/5 bit, we've put 2 holes in there to fix our box, and then we've put 1, 2, 3. Now this is going to hold the all band that's going to secure the oval conduit to the wall, but I will come back to that in a bit. What I'm going to do is get this box mounted, get the all band in the wall, and then we'll look at getting the floor up where our cables already are so that we can connect on. Just quickly, when we are fitting these back boxes, make sure that you're putting the open grommets in to protect the cable going through so it doesn't get ripped open by the metal. Now this all band we're putting in, what I do is I buy a strip and cut it into pieces with 5 holes. Now those 5 holes, if you look, if we put a screw in the middle, what we'll do is bend the left and the right, and then we'll put a screw through that middle one, and it fits perfectly into that hole. Like so. So I've got 2 more of them to do, then we'll jump on the other side of the room. Right, this is the other side. So I've lifted all the floor up, de-nailed it so that it's safe to work around. If we look over here, there's already a junction box on the cables that are supplying this ring. So what I'm going to do, the ring's already been tested, I've done a board change here, everything's mint. So if I take either one leg out or put another joint there, we're going to send one down here to do that, and we're going to send the other one down through under the floor to feed our new socket over there. So what we can either do is do our joint there where there's already one, or we can pull a leg back from this socket. Because they're so close to the skirting, it's easy enough to just drop a leg out. If we give these a wiggle, you can see they're moving, so they'll pull through nicely. So I can do either really, not sure which one I'm going to do yet. I'll get some cable out now and start fishing it round. So to get through here, obviously we're going to have to drill the joists, but to get from this side over to there, we're going to have to use our rods. So our cable rods, put a length under there, tape on or use a cable sock attachment, pull through. That's going to get us right the way through the room to the other side. If you don't have rods, you can literally use anything, bit of trunking lid, anything that will go down that's fairly stiff but does bend to allow you to get it up through the joists. Now we're in the second room now. Just before we start wiring, I've drilled through where our socket is going to go, and that leads us to here. Now it has blown a bit of the plaster, but like I said, we're chopping into this anyway, that can just be filled. So I've got chop now from there straight the way down. We're going to put a socket somewhere there and then straight under the floor. So I'm going to cut at the first bay here, which is in line with that, so about there. Cut there, take that piece of floorboard up, drill down, that should take us nicely into the wall, and then we'll chop up to meet here. So again, I'm going to draw a line with the level, straight up the wall, get it chased out. You definitely don't need to watch that again. So we'll get that chopped out and then we'll come back when we're wiring it. Bash! So socket is going down now. I've done it that low because all the sockets in the room are that low. So that can be fixed on, but I'm going to get the cables to it first. So my plan is I'm going to pull a leg of that ring back. Hopefully it reaches across to here. If not, we can do a joint on it, pull it across to there. Then we're going to come from here, round through the floor onto here. So we'll have one leg from the left hand socket to this one, and then we'll have another one from here which will refeed that socket. So that'll bring all 3 of our sockets back into the ring. Now just to make it a bit easier for me, I'm going to get 2 legs of the ring to there, and I'm going to spur off and go through to that one with a single 2.5. Now we can do that on sockets, we can spur off once. So we'll have 3 cables at that point, 1 at the one in the bedroom next door, and 2 at this point here. Hopefully, pulling that cable back, we won't have to do any joints, but we'll see how that goes. So the cable we're going to be using 2.5 cable, and this is earth shore, so it's got the earth sleeving already round the earthing conductor, which is nice. Right, what I'm going to do first then, from this socket right the way through. Can't be bothered to go back down to the van to get the rods, so I'm just going to push it through and hope and pray. So we're in this 3rd bay here. This should take us straight the way through to our socket. So I've pushed that as far as it'll go. Let's go over there and find it. It didn't work. I've put a piece of oval through it. Still didn't have to go to the van, did I? So I've taped onto this now. This should pull all the way through now. It says. Yeah, there we are. There is our cable for our socket. So that's our first leg now. We're going to pull enough on both ends. One to get up the wall here, one to get round to our other socket. Right, we've got our, my voice keeps going. Right, we've got our 2 legs pulled in to this socket here now. What I've done is cut a piece of oval to length. That's what we want to go in the wall. Now we're going to get these as straight as we can. We don't need to put oval in the wall. You can get away with just clipping it. People use capping, people use conduit. There's all sorts of different things. It's just whatever you find works best for you, really. If you've got that chasing tool, the oval fits perfectly in it. There'd be no need to do anything else, really. So what we're going to do, get the legs straight and get them pushed into this conduit. Now, we're using 25mm. I just find that you can get a ring into it a lot easier. You can get some more 1.5s into it if you need to. It's just a little bit bigger, makes it less tight and less hard to pull in. So when we've got these pushed in, we should start seeing them coming out the end in a second. So now they're coming out the end, we're just going to give them a pull, push down on the conduit as well. Then our 2 ends of the ring can go through into our box, like so. Get our conduit nice in there, and then push it in and fold our all band over and around it, just to secure it into the wall. And that's what the final piece of the puzzle is going to look like. What we also want to do is make sure that there's nothing proud of the plaster line. So I will give that a little tap with the hammer, but as you can see now, everything's underneath. Just give it a nice skim and then done. Right, now that our cables are in and up to the socket on this side of the room, we're going to look at getting this floorboard back down. So first thing we want to do, everywhere there's a joist, we just want to give it a clean off so nothing's obstructing the board going back down. We're then going to slot it back into place like that. And then everywhere there was a nail, obviously there's not now because I've de-nailed it, we're going to be using an 1.5" screw to go straight down. We know that's long enough to get down into the joist and hold it securely. And we're just going to screw it down just past the surface of the board so that obviously you can't feel it once the underlay, the carpet's gone down. All that's left on this side now is just to have a sweep and a tidy up of our little bit of dust that we've created. I'm going to get the other one boxed and the cables through, then we'll look at connecting up. Just before I screw this last board down, I just want to show you what I'm about to do. So where there's a joist right tight on the edge of the wall, drilled up on an angle through the joist so that I could fish it round and through a hole in the wall. Yeah, that was all. Last board to screw down, and I'll show you what I mean with the cabling being new and old. So over from our existing socket, if you look now, this one is the original cable. This is our new cable. So the new one goes off to there, then comes back through the floor, back round here and over to here. And then our other original leg that was in there, we've pulled back right the way through and over to here also. So red and black there, that's our existing. That is our new, which brings all these new sockets into the ring. I'm going to get this box fixed on now and get a single cable right the way through and into here. So as you can see, there is a bit of patching up they're going to have to do, but very good, very nice. On to connecting up. So obviously the one in that room is pretty straightforward, live, neutral, and earth, one cable. These two cables, and then the third one, 3 cables. 1, 2, 3. Why is it the third one? Might connect that one up a second. Anyway, yeah, let's get connecting. So this being our new cable, like I said, it's earth shore cable. It's already got the earth inside. You can see. That's already got sleeving around it, which makes it even easier for us. This one being the old one, obviously we're going to have to earth sleeve it, but we'll strip it back first and then get some sleeving onto her. So now that they're sleeved and on, what I like to do is grab a fistful plus about 1/2 inch and just give it a cut. That gives us enough to connect up, and obviously it'll still fit back into the back box. So we've got live, neutral and earth from our new, live, neutral and earth from our old. Let me go and get a socket. On our new sockets, we've got live, neutral and either side for the earth. You can split them, you can put them in one. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to be putting them in the right one because that's what I always do. 2 lives in there, 2 neutrals in there, 2 earths in there. So now it's connected up, we just want to bend them into space there so that we can get the socket on and get it screwed back with our cables nicely behind. I've done that socket now, I've still got these few to connect to. I don't know what is up with my voice today. We've still got these few to connect up now. One thing I will mention, everywhere we've done chases and that, we do let the customer know that we do not make good of any walls. We don't do any filling, plastering, anything like that. Some people do, we just don't. Because I'm terrible at filling, yeah? Let that be known. I'll carry on, shall I? Right, now that the power is back on, all our sockets are on, we're good to go. Now, for this installation, we would be recording the R1 and R2 readings. We'd be recording the ZS, the ZE, and the end-to-ends of the ring because of it being a ring circuit. We'd also be recording the trip times of the RCBO or RCD, and they would be getting recorded onto and issued from us to them a minor works certificate. It wouldn't need registering with building control because it's just in a bedroom. We've added a couple of sockets, but it would need that minor works certificate issuing. Now for this one, obviously, because we've changed the fuse board previously, these jobs are still running onto that. I literally changed the fuse board last week and then obviously come to do this. I'll be doing a full electrical installation certificate for the whole property once I've done everything. There's still quite a bit to do, but I just thought I'd show you that. Now, while we're on the subject of test certificates, one of the apps we like to use for test certificates is Tradify, which is the sponsor of today's video. Big up Tradify, thank you very much for your continued support. Now, if you haven't checked out Tradify, it is an app that we use to run our business. So everything goes onto there, our scheduling, our customer database, quoting, our invoicing. You can make certificates on there and everything gets sent off nicely. Everything's tracked through the app. So if you were to send a quote off or an invoice, oh, we didn't receive it, you can actually press on there and see exactly when they opened it. So times that it's been opened, times that it's been reopened. You can also accept payments off there now, which is transferred into Stripe. So you link your accounts, does charge you, you can pass the charge on to the customer. You can pay the charge yourself, it's only a tiny charge, but it does make it a lot easier. You can take card payments when you're there by them putting the details in. They can click a link on the invoices, get you paid straight away. So something cool that Tradify has also just done is opened a new YouTube channel called Tradify Tips and Tricks, I believe. If not, I've just wrote it here. So they've brought out this new channel to show you the features before you enter into any trial or anything. You can go on there and it will teach you how to do certain things within the app. So that's awesome. If you do want to check it out, I'm going to leave a link in the description, which will give you a 14-day free trial. Now, if you're happy with it, which I'm sure you will be, like thousands of others, and us especially, we're over the moon with it. It works very well for our business. If you are happy with it, please do use code JRC30, which will give you 30% off your first 3 months. So big up Tradify, thank you very much for sponsoring this video, and thank all of you for getting this far. It's been a nice short and sweet video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you're obviously learning, I think that is something that we do need to learn. Now, it's all right going to college, getting all the fundamental knowledge and things like that, but you need to know how to do these things. Hopefully this will help you. So leave a little comment, let us know what you think. Leave a like, big up yourselves. See you later. Ta-ra.